Sure. A very good evening to everyone present here. We warmly welcome you to this workshop session, Introduction to Azure Custom Vision. It is an initiative taken by MS Club of SLIIT as an introduction to custom computer vision modeling using Azure AI Custom Vision by MS. Joining us today is Thamindu Gamage, a final year undergraduate at SLIIT, a researcher, a beta Microsoft Learning Student Ambassador, and an associate software engineer at Epic Lanka. He has been accredited with one research publication and over 18 projects. We are deemed with much privilege with your presence this evening. And without further ado, I will now hand over this session over to you, Thamindu Ayya.
Okay, thank you. I hope you guys can see me. So I hope you guys can see my screen as well. So someone just let me know whether the screen is visible or not.
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay, so thank you very much, Maka. So good evening to everyone who's present here with their valuable presence here. And so without getting to know what is Microsoft and Microsoft Student Ambassadors, it is not good to proceed to this session. So let me introduce what is Microsoft Learn and what is Microsoft Student Ambassadors. So what Microsoft Student Ambassadors are a program that has initiated by Microsoft's company, and by becoming a Microsoft Student Ambassador, you can actually contribute to the society, as well as you can gain much more experience and learn new things by this. So as a Microsoft Student Ambassador, I became Microsoft Student Ambassador at the late of 2022. Now it's my one. I have completed 1.5 years of my Microsoft Ambassador Student uh, Ambassador journey, and now I'm encouraging the rest of the community to participate in these events and gain new experience. So without any further ado, let's get started with the session. Okay. So today's topic is what is Microsoft Azure Custom Vision, and I'm going to give you an introduction to Azure Custom Vision, which is an AI service provided by Microsoft itself. So I'm Thamindu Gamage. I'm Beta Microsoft Student Ambassador and a fourth year undergraduate at SLIIT. And now let us move on the session. So today I'm going to actually talk about introduction to Azure Custom Vision and benefits of using Azure Custom Vision and setting up Azure Custom Vision. And most importantly, I'm going to do a live demo so you guys can interact, and finally a Q&A session. And let us move on. So moving on, what is Microsoft Azure Custom Vision? So first of all, which comes to my mind is actually a vision. Vision means we are seeing things through our eyes. So how can computers identify these things? So how can we make computers identify things by using cameras? Or how do we integrate vision to computers? These are the questions that comes to our minds. So when talking about custom vision, Azure Custom Vision plays a huge part in custom vision domain. So Azure Custom Vision is a cloud-based service that enables developers to build, deploy, and improve image classifiers. We can use image classifiers for our deep learning processes and so much other things. We can use custom vision for our final year projects and university projects, as well as in our industries. So features that is given by that has been given by Microsoft Azure Custom Vision are image classification, object detection, model customization, integration with Azure services. So what is this integration with Azure services? So when we use Microsoft Azure Custom Vision, we can use this Custom Vision service to integrate with CCTV cameras and all the other physical devices that we can get video, audio, or photographic inputs. So we can integrate this custom vision to IoT actually. With IoT, we can actually expand the domain of the custom vision into a massive wide area. So what are the use cases of these things? So in high healthcare, and we can see we can actually use this custom vision for identifying diseases. So mostly these days we are using custom vision to identify X-rays like pneumonia X-rays and all the other heart diseases as well as sepsis. We can use to identify these diseases through Azure Custom Vision. Even in the retinal eye care, we can use these Azure Custom Vision to identify uh, anomalies in our retinas as well. So that's a part of the healthcare. So what is going to be retail? So we can actually identify the colors of our clothes, and we can actually determine the sizes as well as all the other image fashions. We can create new fashions used by identifying the existing ones. So if we feed the old uh, fashions to our systems, they can actually generate new fashions for the upcoming seasons. So for manufacturing, so when in quality controlling, we can use custom vision for our quality control of products. So we can identify defects and damage products with these kind of technologies, right? And so moving on with the benefits of Azure Custom Vision, we can create. It is easy to use. So it's Azure's intuitive interface for building and deploying models without deep learning experience. So this actually covers up a huge part. So we don't need to have a great idea of deep learning. Deep learning is the practice that we are using machine learning and as well as image processing to identify or classify images with our computer machines, and we are making the computers learn the features that we can identify through images and predict the future outcomes or anomalies with these uh, predictions. So without having a deep learning expertise, we can use Azure Custom Vision for identifying and classifying the images. So also as well as identifying the images, we can use to uh, identify videos as well. We can use Azure Custom Vision to actually classify video streams as well. So customization, we can tailor models to specific needs with custom labels and tags. So when talking about customization, we can actually make the training models as we want. So we can label images as we want. So we can tell this images belongs to this class. So this image belongs to this class. So you can do those things as well. So for scalability, so what is scalability? First of all, scalability is the ability to grow. So we can have our company scale, and we can scale ourselves as well. So it same goes with the computer systems as well. So scalability is the ability to grow. So seamless integration with other Azure services for scalable solution comes with Azure Customs Vision. So we can scale our solutions by adding more processing power or more machines to our system. So that is what meant by scalability. So and accuracy. This plays the huge part when using Azure Custom Vision. So in for my as my experience, we have done a the research project for identifying retinal diseases use through using deep learning models. But at some point we could have we got some errors when identifying images with this some particular diseases. And when we used Azure Custom Vision for this kind that scenario, we were able to differentiate the images with the actual affected ones. So this Azure Custom Vision's accuracy gave us a higher advantage than the existing deep learning models. We can use deep learning models like uh, exception, CNN models, mobile nets, and VG16s, all those things we can use. But comparing to those deep learning models, but using those deep learning models, we got some kind of an output like 75% or 80% accuracy we got. But when using Azure Custom Vision, we have got actually results above 95%. So you can see the gap between the results. So employing Azure Custom Vision for our research projects as well, and our object detections, we can get higher accuracies. So that's the main thing I would like to highlight here. So let us move on. So to getting start to get started with the Azure Custom Vision, you have to have prerequisites. So first of all, you have to have an Azure account. So even if you are students from different universities who have subscriptions, so as students you can get $100 of Azure subscription. You can use that to surf through Azure services as well as use those Azure services as well, and that is actually for one time. So it's it's actually $100. You will have that $100 for 4 years of your education at the university. Then you can employ that if you need to get more credits, you can request that from Microsoft, and they will provide you with these additional credits that you want. So that's the thing there. So you can actually always surf around with Azure, but there's a limit actually for $100. So keep in mind, when you use those services, please be aware of the um, payment and the credits. So moving on. Uh, moving on, we have to have basic knowledge of machine learning and image processing when we use Azure Custom Vision. So basically, you guys know when we are training a model or creating a machine learning model, we have to use some kind of data set, right? So you can use data sets from wherever you want. So let me actually show you one of the data set sites that we are using currently, and we can use actually Kaggle for our machine learning purposes. So this site contains millions of data sets. You can see here, you can get millions of data sets. So if I see diabetes data set here, some personal finance or something like that, you can have a data set here. Okay. Or if I search here people, you can get data set of there are 60,000 data set containing people images. Okay. So here you can have data, and so like that you can here by using this website you can get any kind of data set that you want, like uh, any facial recognitions, any plant recognition, so anything. You can use this site as well. And moving on with the presentation now. And so basic knowledge of when talking about basic knowledge of machine learning and image processing, you have to have a data set for training your models. And then you need to have a knowledge. So any data set, any image can't be used by image processing softwares, we can use that. We have to pre-process our images. We have to make our images identifiable by machine learning models or custom vision. So we have to actually resize images, grayscale, and all other some other things that we have to do before we feed the data to our machine learning or deep learning models. Same goes with the Azure Custom Vision as well. So we have to actually pre-process data or images before we feed them to Azure Custom Vision for identifying or classification. So that we have to keep in mind. And for subscription part, let us move on. There are three types of subscription available in Azure. So free tier, you can actually get a free tier by when you create an account, you are get given $200 of Azure credit worth. It would be available for 3 months for you to play on with the Azure services. For every new email and every registration, you are getting $200 of Azure credits. And after 3 months of time, you have to uh, top up your account and add credit card to your Azure account as well. So then you have to pay for the services as well. So when talking about free tiers, when if you guys don't have any idea about some service of Azure, you can play with free tier Azure subscriptions. So if we use some Azure application, we have a tier called free tier. You can actually use that to play on and have an idea what happens with the system. I'll show it to you when I'm going to do demo. And there is a pay as you go subscription as well. So when you use, it will be charged to your as your usage. So if you use the Azure services highly, you will be getting a huge amount of uh, cost. And if you use less, you will not get that much of a uh, bill as well. And thirdly, enterprise plans. So these enterprise plans are used by companies, large scale companies, right? And moving on with the Azure Custom Mission project. How to create Azure Custom Mission project? So there are two types of Azure projects: classifications and object detections. So classifications, we can tag images by different classes with different names. And for object detection, we can use identifying and tagging specific objects within images. So if you get an image, object detection, so in that image, we can actually point out these are the things that we need to focus on, right? And let's move on to the next step, which is the project setup. So we have to select project type and then give a project name and description and choose a domain. And finally, when we created these kind of steps, we complete these steps, we can use tagging for tag our image class, image according to classes, right? So first, I have created a flowchart for you to understand this well. Log into Azure portal, create a resource group, create a custom mission resource, create a new project, and then upload and tag images. This is actually what's meant by tagging images. And then we can train the model. Finally, we can test and evaluate the model. And after that, we can deploy the model to the public to use it, right? So moving on, training a model, like we before training models, we have to collect data, as I mentioned. So for image classification, we have to collect thousands of data images. So normally we are recommended to collect more than 500 images, or it depends on the range. Even if you have more images, the prediction are very accurate. So when collecting images, you have to actually collect more than 500 images for one class. Otherwise, the training or prediction accuracy would be biased. Which means by if you uh, insert like affect, if I get an example, you have two types of images. One is for affected and one is for normal. So if we insert normal images more than affected images, we are getting a biased result. So even this may lead if a affected image would also be recognized as a normal one. So this could be a problem, right? So when you are collecting data, those data should be not biased. So gathering and uploading images for training, you have to consider those things as well. When training, initiating the training process by selecting appropriate settings. So you can actually train images using Azure Custom Vision with different types of settings. So you can actually create these images, uh, train these images for 1 hour, 2 hour, or even 3 days, 4 days, and 5 days. That training limit depends on your data set. So if you have a huge data set, it would recommend more than 1 day. So same as if you have a little bit of data set, it would train completed within 2 or 3 minutes. So using Azure Custom Vision is also very effective for image processing and machine learning tasks. Because when we manually train our data models for these kinds of things, it would get more time and more resource consuming. So if we use Google Colab or Jupyter Notebook for our machine learning purposes and model training, one epoch would take sometimes 2 or 3 hours training. And then we have to use serious resources like GPUs and powerful CPUs. So that actually reduce that uh, problem is mitigated by using Azure Custom Vision as well. So if we you employ our Azure Custom Vision for these kinds of scenarios, we can actually uh, train our images or train our models very well. And so that's the another point that I want to highlight. So keep in mind, if you are training more than 24 hours or more, higher training times cost actually higher cost. So you have to keep in mind that also. And for iterations, we can actually use iterations for getting predictions and performance of the trained models. So in first iteration, if we train our model with 500 images, then we can get some point of accuracy. At second iteration, if we train our model with 1,000 images, we can get another added accuracy. So I with iterations, we can actually fine tune our model training accuracies, and we can get get and we can evaluate our models performance as well by iterations, right? So that's moves on with the training on your model. So evaluating model, so you have to keep a better understanding of metrics. So in here there are three types of metrics called precision, and recall, and average precision. So precision is like getting a result and comparing it with the actual result. So by getting that result, we can actually predict how good this system has performed. And then recall is actually like how do we getting. So I'll show you how these things work. In here, for your ease of use, I'll show it here. So precision. So in Azure Custom Vision, precision is the percentage of identified classifications that were correct, right? So here you saw the precision percentage is 99.9 for your this demonstration purpose. I have created a custom missions instance. So in here you can see the precision is 9.9, right? And moving on with the recall, recall is the percentage of actual classifications that were correctly identified. So when making the data set training, we can actually mention these data sets below, data belongs to these classes, right? And that it's actually meant by when evaluating the model and when uh, making validations, the Azure Custom Vision is going to get the percentage of actual classification that were correctly identified, and it's going to use that matrix for our recall purpose. And average precision is like the following ranges from 0.0 to similar results. So it's like precision of the whole data set. So it's moving, it's like getting a average precision output from the whole trained instance. Now I'm going to show you again. And this is the three metrics that are given from the Azure Custom Mission Services. And when moving on to testing part, how to test your model with new images and interpret the results. So in here, actually, we can use Azure Custom Vision Services uh, predictions tab to use test the images. And I will show you in the demo part. And to improve the evaluation model, you can actually add more data, as I mentioned, refining tags using more meaningful names for your tags. Don't use same types of name, like if we use like cat here, if you use cat1, cat2, cat3, they are not good practices. You have to use unique names for each performance tag. And as I mentioned, running additional training isolation, then you can actually evaluate which iteration gives you the best result, right? And moving on, so deploying your model, we can use Azure's uh, custom missions endpoint and publish your models, and then you can get the endpoints to call that model. So integrating that models endpoints can be used with different kinds of applications, like mobile applications and web applications. Those endpoints are exposed by Azure Custom Mission Service as well. And for security, you have to ensure the security of your endpoints and manage access for those endpoints. So you have to protect the routes that these endpoints give you, right? And then tips and best practices for Azure Custom Vision. You have to use quality data. So this quality data gives you actually best results. And model management, different versions of models. And if you like, for first iteration you have got one model, and for second iteration you have got another model. You have to keep in mind those two models are different. So because those two models are created for different number of data sets. And then finally, cost management. So when training, you have to critically be aware of cost management as well, because if you run off with more cost, your credit cards or bank funds would be less, right? So when you are using your Azure credits, 100 plus 100 dollars worth of credit, it would be like vanished, vaporized, and you don't know what happened with the credits as well. So keep in mind, when you use those things, the cost management is very critical to keep in mind. So actually, as my experience, I once I used this with our research presentations, and then my Azure credits become 0. and then I was not able to present it in my research presentations. So that would there I got a huge blogger when progressing with my research presentations. So keep in mind, you have to keep the awareness on cost management as well, right? So now it's the demo time. So you guys have been waiting until now because of a boring some things of a boring kind of a talk. And now let us move on with the demo part. So first of all, you have to log into your Azure account here. First, you have to log into your Azure account. Here, this is the dashboard of Azure account. Then in here you can see sign in. Then you can sign into the Azure account by giving your credentials. So actually I have previously signed in with my student ambassadors account, and now you can see this is the dashboard of Azure Microsoft Azure. So here you can create resource groups and you can do various things here. And if you see in marketplace, you can get huge number of services: Azure AI Studio, machine learning, AI search, those things related to artificial intelligence and machine learning, and analytics, and for your computational things, for VM creation and all those things, containerization, database, Azure Cosmos DB, DevOps. All these services are provided by Azure. You have to actually go and serve these things. So when you're doing certification like AC 900, AC 400, and AC 104, you can actually browse these things well. So if you are hoping to develop your future career in cloud development side, this is a place you have to learn and you must learn. Otherwise, you would not proceed with the roles like cloud engineering and cloud DevOps engineers. So if you guys want to get in touch with these things, you have to actually try out these by yourselves, right? So moving on with our actual presentation, here you can create Azure Custom Vision services. So before creating an Azure Custom Vision service, you have to create a resource group first. Now I have previously created the resource group for demonstration. So here, if I demonstrate how to create a resource group, so here you have to click the subscription, and then you have to give a name here. Test, right? I'm going to give a name here, and then you have to select a region. It's better to keep the default one, and then you can actually add tags for these things as well. And then then the system will actually Azure systems will actually validate this information, and then they will create this resource group as well. As you can see, the resource group test has been created now. So now moving on with the Azure Custom Vision, you can directly search here in Custom Vision. Right. So if you create a Azure Custom Vision service, you can create prediction and training. So if you want to create prediction resource, so you can create click this prediction button. If you want to create training model, so you can click this. So better to create both resources, because the both would be needed when doing image classification. So as I told you, you have to select a subscription here. Then you can actually select a resource group here. So this is the resource group that we have created previously, and keep the region as it is. So if you want, you can select Mumbai or something like that. like Southeast Asia, UK, Southwest Europe. So it's keep the East US one and give a name, test custom. So then you can actually create. So you can see this domain name is invalid. So I'll give another test. So you can see the validation has been passed and you can proceed with the other inputs. So in here, you can select a pricing tier. So for now, I would select standard one, and this would actually cost me. This will actually cost my resource. And for previously I used that my free tier because I wanted to create an instance which is working for you guys to show. So now I'm left with the standard one because I have used my free tier, and this would actually cost me some credits. And also for this is the pricing for training tier, and this is the prediction tier pricing. And now you can review and create. So it's going to run a validation, quick validation, and then you can, if the validation passes, you can actually create the resource here. So you can see the initializing deployment. And after validation, after some time, it's going to submit the deployment, and we are going to be redirected to some page. Then here you can see the progress of your deployment, and deployment is in progress. So anyway, it's going to take a little bit of time. So here you can see the deployment is succeeded. So we can actually go to the resource group. So here you can see the deployment details. So we have created 2 instances for training and predictions. And here you can see the resource group that I have created. So this is the test resource group. And this is what we can do with the Azure dashboard. So now next comes the best part we have to do. So now let's move on to the Azure Custom Vision portal, right? So in here, this is the Azure Custom Vision portal. You can go to Azure Custom Vision portal by clicking Custom Vision AI. Since I have previously logged in here, I'll show you here. This is the Azure Custom Vision website. So you can read the things here. You can do all the custom vision related things in this website. So that's the original custom vision website page. And here I have created a previous one. So now I'm going to create a new project. So in here you can see I can give different names here. So resource test demo. I'm giving a name only name. This is not a good practice. You have to give a proper name for your project. And here you can select the standard one or the free one. So this is the free tier that I have created previously, as I mentioned. So that previously free tier is actually associated with this resource group. So these 2 instances are having the free tier, so I can use that free tier here. So for the new resource group, I can't use the free tier because I have used the free tier for the this demo RG resource group. And so in here you can actually select the resource that you are using. So now I clicked uh, free tier. And so in here, in the slide I have mentioned there are two projects: type classification, object detection. And now I'm going to select classification for our ease of demonstration. And you can click multi-label or multi-class. So multi-label means for single image can have multiple tags. Like if we take an individual, so if I take myself, I'm a human as well as a student and as well as a engineer. So I'm having three roles. So uh, different kinds of uh, related things I'm associated. I'm a student, a man, and a engineer. So three I can be defined by those three kinds of tags, right? So you can use multi-class multiple tags for image and multi-class, so single tag per image. So uh, let's take like this is a phone, and I'm a man, and this is actually a book. Okay, so those three things belongs to three different classes. The phone can't be me, and the book can't be me. So I can't even be a book or phone. So these kinds of things are we can use to tag single image for single class, single tag for image. So that's mentioned. That is the thing that I wanted to highlight here. Then you can select the domain, other general or compact or and marks retail. So if you want to extract the Azure Custom Vision model, you can use Azure Compact S1 model. So for offline identification purposes, you can use this general custom compact S1. And for general compact things as for your uh, offline identification process. If you are integrating a model, you can use that. So if I show you some of the integrated or downloaded model. Mm, give me a second. Okay. So this is actually an extracted Azure Custom Vision model. So here you can see several classes and several labels are here. So this is actually a extracted model. So this comes with actually zipped folder. So this is the zipped file, and this is the model. And you'll have a license. So here, this is the license. So these things are coming with the compact uh, model. So if you don't want to use offline prediction, you can use the general A2 model. Then you can create a project by clicking create project. So you have to wait until 2 or 3 seconds. So then you will be moved on to this page. So here you can add images. So for this purpose, I'm going to add person's details. So I'm going to name this as person. So you can see these are all people, right? So no dogs or no cats or no other things as well. So you can name this as person. And it will take some time to upload the images based on your carrier speed. And because of the time constraint, I'm going to go with trained images. So here you can see I have added different images belongs to different classes. Actually, you can select only class. So if you want to select class, the cars would be the only things that would display here. And if I want to select the dog, so these are the dogs that I have uploaded to this data set, right? So cats, so you can see the cats and dogs. So if you select multi-labels, you can see those cats and dogs as well. Here you can see the dogs. I added so many images, so for the model to be precise, here you can see the cats. So by selecting multiple tags, you can see the images belongs to those tags as well. So I think this has updated correctly. And now I'm going to add some other images as well. And so I'll add cat, only cat. So I'm going to name the label here as cat. Then it's going to upload the images, and just let us wait a little moment. So you can toggle between tagged and untagged images. So if there are untagged images, it would display here. So all the images for this purpose, I have tagged all the images using these names, and you can see the untagged images here if there are untagged images. So you can add images as I mentioned. So if the model is trained, also you can add more images if you want in here. So yeah, still uploading. So I have actually added 986 images of persons here, and so 885 images of cats here. So this is actually not a balanced data set. For demonstration purposes, I have used these things as for your convenience. So when actually training for your research purposes or some other industrial practices, you can use the balanced data set for these kind of scenarios. So now I can train. So here you can see the images have been added. Now I can train the data. So you can actually select quick training or advanced training. I have mentioned here you can train your model up to 96 hours. So more hours, more cost. You have to keep in mind that. And if less training, it would be less accurate but low cost. So when training your models, you have to toggle between those things as well. You have to keep in mind. So after that, you can send an email to yourself uh, regarding the training. So for this one, I'm going to select a quick training. So then it's going to move on to the performance page. So here you can see it's going to be the first iteration. So first iteration has started on 7:59 p.m. today, and so this is going to train for a while. So for your convenience, I have used a previously trained model. So here you can see the first iteration of this training model gave me 99% of accuracy of the precision and recall as well as AP. So you can actually get the definitions of tags by hovering over these icons as well. And then you can use these things as well. So here you can see the prediction accuracies and all the other related metrics that you need to progress when you're using image classification or machine learning. And if if you want to add more images, then you can add more images and make another training. So it would train like, so training not needed, so nothing has changed. If I add some other images like data, So here are no image also. So if I remove here some images and train again, I can train quick training or advanced training. So this would go as the second iteration. You can see it is named at iteration 2. So this is what happens in the iteration. So you can actually fine tune your model's accuracy by adding or removing images according to your preference. And here you can see the data and the metrics that this has given. So to test these scenarios, you can add images. So now for a quick test, I'm going to add some images here. So I'm going to add a cat. So it's going to analyze the system going to analyze and give this kind of accuracy. So it can definitely identify this as a cat. So if I add another image like person, yeah, it identifies this as a person. It's not a cat or dog now. So I'm going to add a car image of a car again. And it's going to identify this as a car as well. So this is how you test your predictions. And here you can see the results of the predictions, right? So here you can actually view the endpoint. So prediction API's endpoint is actually here. You can get that prediction API's endpoint and use it on your application. This is the endpoint. So you can use this endpoint for your applications and you can use that to enter your images to this model. So this model is actually in cloud. So then finally, if you are done with your training, you can publish your uh, model. So I'm using this prediction resource and I'm going to publish this uh, trained model here. So by using this prediction URL, you can actually access this Azure Custom Vision service. So that's all for the demo part. Let's move on with the presentation now again. And so you can have the resources of this Azure Custom Vision by visiting these pages. So you can actually always get Azure Custom Vision details in Azure Custom Vision documentation. If you read this documentation well, you can actually get idea about these things as well. And then we can use Azure Microsoft Learn to get more idea about Azure Custom Vision as well. So read these things carefully and then you can get more idea about more insight, more details about this Azure Custom Vision service and how these things work. So here you can see in Azure, there are so many services. So here, this is Azure AI services. You can use any kind of these things for your present future work and face recognition, content identity, immersive readers. So this is actually very important for your final year research projects. So you can employ these things for your research purposes as well. So moving on. Um, so this is what I wanted to show you today. And then if you guys have any questions, please feel free to drop those questions in the chat. I'll be able to answer your questions for this session. And thank you for listening and have a great good night. So I'll be here waiting until some of you guys ask me some questions. So the importance of actually using Azure Custom Vision is to employ low code uh, ma- uh, machine learning purposes, and you can actually use these for your research projects as well. So it would be very important for you guys to learn about these things and get knowledge. So I think anyone haven't had posted any question. Uh, Seems like nobody is asking anything in the chat. And you can here you can we have uploaded some resources that you can go through when you are using Azure services. You can learn. Yeah, you can use these things as well. So since nobody is asking anything, I'll pass the session to you.
Thank you, Thamindu Ayya. Thamindu Ayya, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you this evening. Sorry. Thamindu Ayya, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you this evening. And on behalf of MS Club of SLIIT, I take this opportunity to thank you for accepting our invitation despite your busy schedule and for all the valuable insight you have bestowed upon us. We wish you all the best for all your future endeavors. Lastly, I take this moment to thank all the participants who joined with us and remained interactive throughout this evening. Hope you had a pleasant evening. I would also like to mention that the learning resources have been linked in the chat. We will be linking our socials in the chat in a few moments. You can check the socials to to discover the future sessions and workshops that we will be arranging. And once more, we thank everyone for participating in this workshop, and I hope to see you all in a future session. Thank you.